what is this yoke that even our forefathers couldn't bear? Do you see a bunch of the forefathers just saying how unbearable the Torah is? I see a lot of the forefathers screaming at the top of their lungs how much they love the law. King David, chief among them, right? So what was the burden that they couldn't bear? That even the forefathers couldn't bear. It's the requirement to circumcise before you even know what's going on. Like our forefathers wouldn't do that. The idea of asking you, I've got a deal for you, I got a contract I want you to sign. Do you want to read the contract first or do you want to sign it first? Oh, no, you got to sign it first. Well, I don't even know what I'm committing to. Because do you not understand what circumcision is? What is it? What is circumcision? The sign, or one of the signs, of covenant. Which means that if I'm going to have a sign in my flesh that I'm covenanted, I might want to know what that represents. And am I okay with what it represents? Do I want to be representing that? Because that's what I'm going to be claiming in my flesh. All right, now, let's continue here. So this is a key. Now, Christians will tell you circumcision is a yoke. Really? Let me ask you a question. How many of you Christians were circumcised on the 8th day? Anybody? No. Okay, I was circumcised on the 8th day. And you know what? I don't remember it. It didn't hurt. If it hurt, I don't remember it. So why is this such a horrible yoke? See, it's not that. The circumcision is not the problem. It's doing it first and you don't even know what you're signing up for. Why would I go through all of that trouble if it's not going to be a sign of my relationship commitment? Okay? You know what it's like? You know what? You have to get married, go to a ceremony on the first date. Would anybody do that? And by the way, on a date with somebody you haven't met yet, so it's actually like a blind date. You're going to get married on a blind date? Well, why wouldn't you do that? Because that's stupid. Because why would you make that level of commitment? You haven't even met the person yet. These people, by the way, the Jews equally, really had no idea who their creator was. The Jews had really lost touch with that. They were doing things very culturally more than anything else. Okay, and I know what that looks like because I grew up in a cultural Jewish community. Most of the areas I grew up in, Queens and New York, were very much more cultural than religious Jews. That may have changed a little bit with the growth of Orthodoxy in that area, but growing up, almost everybody I knew was Jewish, liked being Jewish, was important to them to be Jewish, but didn't keep anything. They weren't covenanted. They just did whatever, but culturally, on this level, on this horizontal level, they were Jewish. Vertically, they were not covenanted. They weren't keeping anything, okay? It's funny, my parents made me go to Hebrew school, made me get a bar mitzvah, made me learn some Hebrew and everything. We did keep the high holy days, light a few candles for Hanukkah, have a Seder for Passover. We didn't go to Sabbath services almost ever, unless like a guest speaker came in that my parents wanted to go see or something. Okay, we didn't eat kosher. We ate anything we wanted. So really, were we covenanted? No, we were Jewish, culturally, okay? See, Jewish is kind of an interesting thing. It's a race, right, to a certain degree. It's a culture, and it's a belief system, okay? The Jews here, as well as today, have like 2 out of 3. They're of the race, and they have the culture, but they don't have the belief system. The belief is expressed by what? What they choose to do. My family was proud to say they were Jewish, still are. And as Jews, they were not Sabbath keepers, were not kosher eating, didn't really keep the holy days in any real way, didn't actually read the book very much, didn't have any idea what was in it, to whatever degree. That's what was happening still even here, all the way back in Acts 15. So then you have the Jews that are like that. Of course, the Gentiles, it's even more clear, okay? They don't have the culture, they don't have the lineage, and they don't have the relationship. So they have 0. But they're being treated equally here. The only thing that's kind of abusive and not equal is that the Jews who don't want the Gentiles in want to threaten them with, well, you got to get circumcised first. You got to sign the contract, then you can come in and figure things out. How do you know that, Rabbi? Well, wait until we hear James talk, and you'll know exactly that that's true.